G'day, everyone. Welcome to another show. And once again, I got to wait for this mute thing. There we go. Yeah. Once again, we've got the great man, Terrible Tim, but I was actually a bit bored because there's nothing happening these days. It's pretty quiet around the world, and I just thought I'd give Tim a call to see maybe we can talk about the weather or something. So how are you, Tim?
I am maintaining and holding it down, Peekay, and again, it's a pleasure to be up on here with you on StreamYard and YouTube. And yeah, well, you know what I said, just to let the folks know at home, just as an aside, when Peekay scheduled me to do this show, I sent him a message. I said, "Yeah, I'm definitely up for it." And I'll tell you what, Peekay, by Wednesday morning when we do this show, I won't be surprised if there's something new, strange, absurd, insane for us to talk about. And sure enough, in New York City here, we're on lockdown. 8 o'clock, nobody's supposed to leave their house. I'm not clear on can it be one or two people, but definitely a group of people can't gather after 8 o'clock. Because
hang on, I thought there was nothing happening. So you're telling me there's something going on apart from BS19? Fill me in. What have I missed out on?
Yeah, we moved on from bullshit 19 to these phony, fake racial psyops, where at the very least, it's very questionable. In my mind, it looks like a psychological operation, a covert influence, perception, management, phony, fake show. In my mind, I mean, everyone could have their own opinion, but I don't know that somebody could die. And he was a healthy young man, and he was in porno movies. You got to be healthy to do that, I guess. And the guy had a knee on his neck for 7 minutes, although admittedly it's very painful. I don't know that a young healthy porn star is going to die because of that. What are your thoughts, Peekay?
I don't know anything about this. I thought we were going to talk about the weather.
Well,
I'll do a quick look. Oh shit! What? There's three cops on this guy.
yeah.
Shit. And he died, did he? Oh, so what's the result of this guy dying?
The result of this guy dying, and I understand that they had a similar operation in France, and I heard inklings about a few other countries, and the ramifications and outflow of this phony fake show is that there are riots in the street, and as a bonus, the internet's been flooded with videos from various parts of the country where pallets of bricks have been conveniently placed near the protest hot zones. Pallets and pallets of bricks. So in case the protesters show up empty-handed. Now, it's my understanding that the peaceful protesters are there by day, and the brick throwers and the people who set shit on fire come there by night.
All right. All jokes aside.
Yeah. The weather's not a joke either, Peter. We don't.
We'll get the weather out of the way.
Yeah.
It's freaking freezing here in Australia, in Melbourne. And I'm even hearing that in the north, in places where it's never cold, they're actually freezing and complaining right now. And it's 3 days into winter. And I've been saying for years, the ice age is coming, but people, don't want to accept that. But anyway, that's enough with the weather.
Unseasonably cool too here, Peekay. The heat's starting to finally show up a little bit, but it's been unseasonably cold. Why? Because the government controls the weather. As insane as that sounds to the uninitiated, that is exactly the way it is. Sorry. Do the research. Look up geoengineering. All right? Okay.
You're right, man. I just want to go back to last Saturday. There was a protest here in Australia. It was initially about supposedly about mandatory vaccinations, which we're all assuming is the agenda, but it hasn't been officially told to us by our so-called governments. But here in Melbourne, I decided to go. Here, actually, just not far out from the main central business district. We've got a huge garden, and there's the Shrine of Remembrance there. Me and g'day Pyman, he's in chat. Me, Pyman, and a few others caught a tram down, and you would not believe. We were like 2 tram stops away, and there's already police cars everywhere. We thought, freaking hell. When we got there, I just couldn't believe it. There were cop cars everywhere. There were motorbikes. There were bikes. There were 8 mounted police on horseback. There were cops everywhere. And this is just a peaceful protest in the garden. A lot of people there, older people, mothers. It was just an eerie feeling. I wouldn't say I was scared, but it was just the thing, looking at it, because these cops did want to start unrest or violence. They were itching for it. They were itching. They sort of gathered around us, and they started moving in, and they were all at the same time would go, move, 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 like we were sheep.
Mm.
When I say we, there was the people in the middle who were talking on the phone and that, and a lot of people were in close to them. I was sort of a little bit on the outside, just watching this, and it was creepy. And then this other unit, what do you want to call it, of cops with the different sort of, there was a 301. I don't know what that meant. 301, a red back on the back instead of a yellow. They sort of came as another wave, and they were just moving in. I thought, by God, what's going to happen when they really get in close? Are they going to just arrest people? And we didn't stay long. We didn't feel right, me and Pyman and others. We left. Turned out there was no violence whatsoever. But by God, they were itching to have violence. It wasn't really big news, but when you look at it the next day, there's footage of Sydney, Brisbane, and Sydney was a lot bigger. They had a lot more people talking, and there was hardly a cop there. They showed them walking down the street, and there's one cop sort of directing traffic virtually. And I cannot believe the difference. It was staggering. So, as I've always said, Victoria is the police state not only of Australia, but the freaking world. For them to have like 200 cops with maybe 250, 300 people, nearly 1 for 1.
Wow.
It's just staggering. And imagine if there was a real protest or, like the shit that's going on in America. But anyway, I've just made a video today. Apparently there's going to be a march this Saturday, whether it's Australia one, I'm not sure, but in Melbourne, the Aboriginal group is protesting Black Lives Matter about, the Australian, the Aboriginal, same shit, how they've been treated. And it's come from the government and the police that they're not going to fine anyone. They're just going to leave them alone. And in my video, I says, you got to be fucking joking. Because all they were interested last Saturday, the cops came up to me and a few others and said, move, separate, social distancing. I'll get the tape measure out if you want, because that's all they could get us on. So, but this Saturday, there's going to be a lot more. There's going to be a few thousand, apparently. But they're okay. The government and the cops have, stated it's fine, which is bullshit. A protest is a protest. And if you still got the same social distancing bullshit restrictions, what's the difference? So it just shows that they just didn't want to hear us, when I say us, people protesting against the lockdown and the BS19 and mandatory vaccinations. But the fact is, the Black Lives Matter, whatever, you could help me here, they're all funded by the same. Can you help me, Tim? Who is funding this shit in America? George Soros, apparently. Who's putting all those bricks there? What's the story? Help me out, mate.
Yeah, well, Soros is reputed to be the financier of all these protests, but who really knows? It could be a mixture of people. The government itself, other background shadowy figures, but the organization of these protests are so obvious because all this stuff is all prepared and ready to go within days of the phony fake show. And all the brickwork is laid out literally, and all the lockdown orders ready to go. The troops are already deployed all over the nation. First it's the police. The next thing you know, it'll be the military being involved. And there'll be a violation of I can't think of the word right, as kami pamatatis or whatever, where the government, where we live under a military martial law, and the government could just walk into your house, take what they want, do what they want, abuse you all you want. We already have that video of the National Guard walking down the street and people just looking at them from their doorway, and they're yelling, "Get the fuck in the house! Get in the house!" And they weren't getting in there fast enough, so one of them says, "Light them up! Light them up!" And then they shoot a paintball gun at the people, and the people inside the house are all wearing masks. So I don't know if that was a setup. Why would people wear masks inside their house? I don't know.
Looks pretty fake to me, but yeah, posse comitatus, I think it is.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. It's early in the morning for me. Yeah, posse comitatus. Go ahead.
Yeah, apparently, don't quote me on this, but that's in the Constitution where the military cannot act as the police.
Right.
Got it right? Something like that. Which where they ignore, or, don't worry about it. And now it's, the military are the police. But I'll just get back to this Donald Trump, okay? Supposedly he, we'll get onto this QAnon thing.
Yeah.
It's been going on for so long. I've got a good friend who swears by that Trump's going to be the savior. Elite people are being arrested, and when the fuck is it going to happen? The time's just about done for Trump. Because I'll give you an example, mate. Hi, Christina, Aussie Croat. She was with us at the march, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. What was that? Donald Trump. I just mentioned something here. Go back a few months on the betting agencies for the next president. I mean, before, just go back 5-6 months, right? It would have been unbackable, absolutely unbackable as the next president. You couldn't imagine anyone defeating him. But the odds were just staggering. It was like an even bet with him and Creepy Joe. Creepy Joe, president of the United States. Are you fucking kidding me?
Right.
So I won't mention names, but a good friend of mine, he put a lot of money on Mr. Donald Trump because this guy believes in QAnon and all that. And I said to him, "You're crazy. You're crazy. I know he should be unbackable, but there's a reason why he's that price." He was slightly favourite, out of the two. But guess what today? Creepy Joe is odds-on favourite, and Donald Trump is blowing out like you can't believe. So it's all been set up, and he's not happy because he's going to do his money. How can anyone ever elect Joe Creepy Biden, for fuck's sake? I said to him, it's all a fucking circus, mate. I've been told, someone mentioned this, that Joe Biden, the Democrats are going to win. He's going to stand aside, and fucking Hillary Clinton's going to be the next president. But it doesn't fucking matter. But they knew 4 years ago when they selected Trump. They actually selected Trump, 10, 12 years ago, before they even selected Obama. Yeah. But I just go back to the last election. I was watching the betting market during the whole, during that day, night, whatever. And Hillary Clinton was that far in front when the voting was, when the voting was cut off, and they were counting. So once it comes to that stage, nothing can affect the vote count. All the votes have been put in. Donald Trump was like 7-1. 7-1, but then all of a sudden, bingo, something happened, and he just become favourite. It was just staggering, just the change that happened. But that just cannot happen in an election. Maybe it might happen while the votes have been, during the afternoon when people are voting and word gets around, but not when the votes are closed and you start counting. There cannot be a huge swing like that. So it was all fucking set up. So your opinion, Tim, what's going to happen? Who's going to be the next president? Will there be a next president?
Oh, that's unclear at this point. But what you were saying about Trump, he did have the popular support. Now, when Clinton did a rally, she couldn't fill up a gymnasium, but Trump was filling up stadiums. So I think that legitimately he did have the popular support. But of course, the problem with Trump is.
Hang on, Tim, just stop you there. While this was going on, you could get $6, Trump. $6 in a 2-horse race. Come on. He was never going to be president.
Well, I'm just saying what I saw on the TV, that Hillary was only filling up gymnasiums.
Yeah, we saw that.
But ultimately, though, and we both could agree on this point for sure, it doesn't matter. No matter who they put in there, they do the bidding of the hidden hands or the New World Order or whatever you want to call them, the Illuminati. They do their bidding. When this whole thing started, Peekay, at the very beginning of this phony fake bug, okay, Trump said something that was lucid, coherent, realistic, and he said, yeah, the fake bug is the order of the day. It's the hoax of the day, okay? But then Trump is flexible from day to day, to say the least, because then shortly thereafter, he's saying, yeah, we got to kill the phony fake bug. And you know what? We got to use the army to do it, because I guess UPS and FedEx won't deliver the vaccines or something. You have to have the army do it. Yeah, if you have the army doing it, the army overseeing it, that can only mean one thing, that it's going to be a forcible mandatory vaccination. They're going to come to your door with that needle and stab you in the arm, and that's it. Why? Because Trump went along with it. He's not in charge. He's not in charge, in a nutshell, Peekay. He's not in charge. He just does what he's the bidding of his rule of his own.
All presidents are not in charge. I mean, they're just the puppets, as we know. But he says one thing, next day he changes to it. He goes back and forth like a yo-yo to confuse everyone, to get people excited. The cue card. Next day he goes the other way. It's all scripted fucking bullshit, and people can't see that.
It's like Franklin Delano Roosevelt said. He said, nothing in politics just happens. It's planned that way.
Anyway, I gave this betting company a call yesterday.
Okay.
And I said, look, I want to back this someone. Because, you could just pick out anyone and they give you odds because there's so many names listed like what's the name? Michael Obama's like six in the betting. But I asked him, look, I want to price on Terrible Tim. Who the fuck says? He says, don't worry about it. I want a price. Said, we don't know, but you can have 1,001. I says, I'll think about it. So I can get 1,001 for you, Tim, if you're interested. But anyway,
I couldn't beat Man Meek Mike. I couldn't beat Man Meek Mike if we both pulled our pants down. He would have the bigger unit. She beat me on both fronts.
Oh, she'd win easy. Is she actually campaigning for presidency? How can she be the sixth fucking favourite? I can say she, sorry. How can he be sixth favourite? But no fucking way. No, it's not. He is not even in fucking a politician.
Well, Man Meek Mike's name has been bandied about.
Oh, it's hilarious. But all right, let's just go back a few days ago, Tim.
Yeah.
There was a video of you at a protest.
Yeah.
There was a few people that kept telling you to shut up.
Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up!
I want $1 for every time you said the word fake.
That'll be, and then we'll start our campaign with that money.
Is there a few $1,000s I'd make on that? I don't think you stopped saying the word fake in fucking all that time. How did it go? Tell us.
Well, I wish I could have had a conversation with any of them that were really interested in the knowledge that I was trying to disseminate there. But yeah, it's the only protest in my area that I was aware of. There was another protest that I found out about afterwards, and the Staten Island Advance made a big deal, put a story up. There was a protest and nobody showed up. Yeah, I bet because you didn't tell them to show up. But anyway, the protest that I did show up to, it was a right and just cause, and we were in agreement. This guy had this tanning salon called Sunbelievable Tanning Salon, okay? And the guy wanted to reopen. And me and my friend John Doerr were there and were saying, yeah, we wanted to reopen too, but we would like to make you people aware that only 0.1% of people died of the fake bug. And that people are getting annoyed. I said, what are you mad? What's the problem? We're with you. We want this place to be open up. Yeah, but this isn't the time or place. We could talk about statistics some other time. No, but the statistics are why all of these places shut down. 0.1%. And I tried to approach this assemblywoman named Nicole Maliotakis, and I just wanted to ask her, Nicole, what are your thoughts about the 0.1% mortality rate? Because she had to know if an average Joe schmuck behind the keyboard could look up the numbers, she can't, and all those people at that protest can't. And her bodyguard was pushing me away. She could hear clearly. You could see that she could hear me asking her the questions. And right from Jump Street, does she look for this statistic? Does she speak in terms of truth and reality? No, of course not. Right from Jump Street, her response to the phony fake bug was to always have these photo ops on Facebook, on her page, on the news, whatever, where she's handing out hand sanitizers and surgical masks to protect people from something that does not even exist. It's fake as fuck. And me and John Doerr encountered a lot of opposition at that rally, people shouting back at us. My favorite was the guy who was the size of a tree. Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! He's a big dude. And he's probably used to getting his way because he's a big guy. And he probably bullied kids in school or whatever. And now this is the real world. We're all grown up. You can't do what you did to kids in high school now, son. Me and John Doerr are there with a camera and a question, and you can't do dick about it except say, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up. And you know what? And I pointed out in the video, I put an annotation. How did that guy get such a nice haircut when all the barbershops are closed? But I rambled on a bit, PK. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. It's funny that because our hairdressers have never been closed.
Really?
Which is weird. You said that you're in a curfew. We'll go back to that.
Yeah.
Why does it fucking matter? 8 o'clock. Who determines the time? Because anyone can go out on the streets anytime, morning, day, or night to do the shit that they're doing. So no one's saying that it's going to be after 8 p.m. All
Right.
it'll do is make people. So is it 8 p.m. till what time?
5 in the morning.
5. So
Yeah.
so all these idiots can just go out at 5 in the morning and do their shit. What's the difference?
Well, I guess, not to take sides with these people, but there is some logic to it because during the day, everyone, you can see them. And then at night, that's when the brick throwers and the fire starters and the looters, but I guess they could do that during the day because they're all wearing masks. But
Have you noticed, Tim? Have you noticed if you watch the TV reporters on these riots, so-called riots, every single one of them is wearing a mask in the last few days. But they weren't wearing masks before, but all of a sudden it's because not only we got the riots, but we got to keep your, subconscious mind still thinking about BS19 with our masks. And that showed up on the protest last Saturday here. All the cops were virtually wearing masks, whereas the previous protests, when the peak was higher up, whatever, none of them were wearing masks. Right now it's coming down because, as you know, they control these bullshit figures. I know we're going from America to Australia here. I made a video a few days ago, supposedly, 5-6 days ago, a 30-year-old in Queensland. If you know, Queensland's a northern state.
yeah, I saw that video. Yeah.
He supposedly died. Well, he died in his own bed. He was fucked. But people don't know that he hadn't worked for 7 months. He turned out to be an epileptic. His health was fucked. But he died, and they straight away said COVID-19. Well, shit, sorry, I take that back. BS19. So what they do, supposedly, is test them after they died. Why the fuck would they worry? This isn't not even an autopsy or a coroner's. You know how they do it. Someone tested for positive fucking BS19. What a lot of shit. Just like these old people are dying. But can you believe it? All right, the stats went up from 102 to 103. 103 people. 103 people have died in Australia, a population of 25 million in 5 months, and it's a fucking pandemic. Are you freaking joking me? So this guy, but all of a sudden, but I won't say, 2 days before, I made a video saying how no one under 40 has died. What a coincidence, 2 days fucking later, this comes out. Nothing to do with me, but it's a coincidence. But the thing is, this is in Queensland, where this Premier Palaszczuk, if you've been watching my video, she's the one that had the fake flu shot put in her arm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a lot of stink about her not opening borders. So they have to have this fucking bullshit. That's how they do it. But it turns out, there was a coroner's inquiry, whatever. He wasn't BS19 at all. So it must have killed the Australian government's corona site to reduce the 103 down to 102. And it's back to 102. No one's died in the last fucking week. So, and I just want to point one more thing. Under 50, one person, a 42-year-old. Turns out that this guy is not even Australian. It's a Filipino that supposedly contracted BS-19 on the Ruby Princess, and when he went off the ship, supposedly died in Australia next day or whatever. So here's a statistic for fucking Australia, not Ruby Princess, which he should have been, because if you look at that bullshit John Hopkins list of all the countries and bullshit deaths, the Diamond Princess is specifically separate from countries. The Diamond Princess, that's the one 4 weeks earlier, with 13 deaths. So why isn't this Filipino listed under Ruby Princess? No, because fucking Australia's desperate to get whoever they can as a death statistic. So you take him out, no one under 50 in 5 months has died from this fake bug in Australia. I'll repeat that. No one under 50, and it gets worse. The average age of Australian population is 34. 34, that's 50% of people are 34 or less. So 50% have not died, but it's, like I said, it's under 50. No one has died from this shit from under 50, which is probably 70% of the population. 70% of the population, but going by them, 2 have died under 60. 2 people under 60 out of 25 million people have died in 5 months from this bullshit, which is 85% of the population, and we have to live in this shit. We cannot go out anywhere. We cannot go to a pub. We cannot fucking go to a park and stand with people for the last fucking 3 months. And the thing about it, they make up this bullshit that the Ruby Princess and other cruise ships, there's a few that mentioned, that's where they're all coming from. And people in nursing homes. So you take that away, that's about 85% of the supposed people that have died from this. So where's this fucking pandemic that these fucking morons I keep bumping into? And you know, I tell them, take that fucking mask off, and they look at me stupid. You know, I had an argument, I'd say, with my brother last week. You know, I gave him a David Icke DVD. I haven't even talked to him about this. He said, don't tell me you think this is bullshit. I said, that's the dumbest fucking question you've ever asked me. Of course it's fucking bullshit. And he said, oh, what about the millions of people that are dying? Hang on. 337,000 worldwide. What's this fucking millions? Because my brother, I won't call him an idiot, he doesn't have the internet, he watches TV. And like anyone else, millions, millions, millions. Because you know what the millions are? Not the deaths, the fucking bullshit cases.
Right.
Cases mean fuck all.
Right.
Fuck all. In Australia, 7,000 cases from 1.4 idiots that had been tested means fucking nothing. Means nothing. Cases. You can stick your cases up your fucking clacker. That's my rant for the night.
And those 2 cruise ships.
Jen, to change the thing here.
Go ahead.
What do you think about this? They use this COVID. So I keep saying that BS-19 shit.
Right.
It was always going to be in America. I don't know the figures now, but virtually half the deaths. I don't know. It was 100,000 now out of 300. A third of the deaths, supposedly worldwide, are Americans. It was always going to be the big one. You know, right. China went to America. Do you believe that they started this lockdown bullshit? Which just so happened every country follow it. Just so happened every country followed social distancing, even though it's never been tested or proven to be scientifically proven it's going to do anything. Do you believe that they locked down people in America hoping that they would revolt and it'd be civil unrest? Because we, as you know, Tim, for years and years, these fake shootings, you know, they want to stir up. People say it's to take the guns off Americans. No, it's more than that. It's actually getting people to buy guns and ammunition before this fucking civil arrest. So do you believe that they did that hoping that the Americans would go crazy and start civil unrest, and it didn't work? So plan B is this fake, can't say it as good as you, fake killing of a porn star by his mate that he worked with, fake as fuck. And that is plan B, which obviously it is, because one person being fucking killed has just set the whole fucking nation alight. You agree or not?
Oh, yeah. I would add to that is that the bad guys, or whatever you want to call them, they studied the human mind. While we grew up watching cartoons, watching TV, learning what we were supposed to learn in school, these people studied the human mind and the herd mentality, and they know how it works. They probably did not expect it to be the operation to be as successful as it was. But this thing with the porn star getting choked out, I think that was part 2 of the plan. I don't think it's an event variable that they came up with at random, because the timing was too good, because it was just at the point when talk of easing the restrictions. I think they said they were going to ease some restrictions starting June 8th or whatever. And they said, well, in order to keep this ball rolling down the hill, let's do this. And racial psyops have been a commonly used instrument in their toolbox to stir up the herd and get people into panic and as George Carlin said, keep them fighting with each other so that the true owners, can keep going to the fucking bank. Now, I just want to go back a little bit. One fake show begets the other. So they wear the masks, and everyone wears the mask to keep the fake show, the fake bug show going, while pushing this fake racial psyop. And the earmark that shows you that this is a worldwide lockstep program, a master plan, is that you see the whole thing throughout the entire world, and everyone behaving the same way, and all the world's governments working together to push the fake bug, and then to push the fake psyop, and to keep people at home, and to destroy jobs and destroy the economy, because they want people to be helpless and at the mercy and control of the government. That's all.
I just want to quick read a comment here from a woman, Tracy Robertson. I think she's in UK.
Okay.
This is just a short comment she made. I was also in hospital with a girl who had COVID BS. I have cancer, and the drugs I'm on, I'm immune suppressant and high risk. Her bed was across from mine in a tiny 4-bed ward. I never got this BS. That just shows, Tracy, I know, sorry, darling, about, the problem she's got. She's got cancer. She's in the same ward with someone with COVID. BS, and she ain't going to catch any COVID. And that just brings me to a phone call I made yesterday. I wanted to call the health ministers here. You cannot get in. They don't answer the phone. I rang the federal minister. Sorry, no one's talking. I rang the state health minister. Sorry, no one's talking. And they gave me this bullshit number to ring the BS19 hotline, which I rang, which I got some bozo, wouldn't know shit from Clay. Yeah. And I told him straight away.
Is it I
want to be a guinea pig. I want to see how you test me. Stick those things up my nose and I'll get tested, sure enough. Then I want to be put in a hospital with one of your supposed BS19 people that are dying. I'll sit there for fucking half the day if you want. And we'll see if I test positive, because I want to see that test again. But I never got to that stage. He hung up on me. But I end up telling my story. But honestly, people should be all doing that, ringing up this fucking bullshit. He gave me this crap excuse. Oh, look, sorry, I can't listen to you because we're busy. fucking busy my ass. No one's ringing up these clowns. As if people are ringing up COVID hotline. Oh, I just blew my nose. I got a tickle in my throat. You think I've got COVID? BS19. Look, if I say that word COVID again, but look, I'll donate. Oh no, I'm only joking. I'm trying not to say that word again. As if anyone's ringing that fucking hotline bullshit. So anyway, Tim, yeah, thanks, Tracy. Thanks for being here. Where do we go to? So just keep back. Please tell me, how can fucking Joe Biden be president of your country? Please explain to me. He is odds-on favorite. Please tell me what the fuck is going on.
There's video of him on C-SPAN sniffing little girl's hair. There's one picture of him where his hands creeps over and touches this little girl's breast, and he's sniffing and he's touching everybody. I mean, if Trump wanted to win, all he would have to do is put up a commercial where it just shows how he behaved at that C-SPAN affair, and then yeah.
You're not telling me something new. I'm in Australia. I don't watch news. Yeah. I've seen all that. Are you telling me not? You're telling me that 200 million Americans haven't seen that? At least
a lot of people haven't, because he has support. He has support simply because he represents the left side. And anyone who just tuned in now, don't get the wrong idea. We know the right side is no better. Whether you elect Trump, Biden, the Hildebeest, whatever, they're all the same animal. And Trump has probably a lot of pedophilia under his belts too, with pictures and video to go with it, because he was on that Epstein airplane to the Epstein pedophile island. People are not getting it though. You know what it is, PK? People want there to be a hero, whether it's their hero Biden or their hero Trump. But there is no hero. The hero that we are waiting for is us.
Tim, you got 330 fucking million people. Let's just go back.
Yeah.
Joe Biden, Obama, George Bush Sr., and then you had fucking Bill Clinton. That's the last 5 or 6.
Right.
You couldn't think of more fucking pathetic people to have as prime minister out of 330 million people. What the fuck's, what's going on? I know it's just as bad here.
Right.
But that is staggering.
Right. It's the same in every country, PK. Back in the day, they would at least present people that are ostensibly credible to some extent. And then you figure, okay, I'll vote for the lesser of the two idiots, the lesser of the two evils. But they don't even give you that anymore. And they don't give that to you either anymore. Either one of those candidates, I'm sure, just have a known, proven history of being a fuck, right? I mean, in your country, PK, that just getting away a little bit, and we brought this up before. Your current country is corrupt as fuck. They have that water desalination program where they pumped billions of dollars into it, and you don't get one glass of clean water out of it, do you?
You're right. And no one knows about it. Honestly, I can walk the streets and ask every single person in a shopping center, and not one single person would know about the desalination disaster.
Right.
And if they knew about it, by God, I mean, everyone should be told about it. And the whole fucking state, it'll be an upturn. Politicians will be thrown out. You cannot believe it. No one wants to know about it.
And PK, also, how much did they spend on those bogus, phony, fake nuclear power submarines? Well, Australia doesn't even have any enemies, right? How much they spend on those submarines?
Well, let's just start. They spent 12 submarines.
Right?
At a cost of, was it $50 billion?
Holy shit.
$50 billion, but they didn't want nuclear submarines as the French have, the up-to-date ones, because nuclear is bad, apparently, in Australia. So they wanted to go to the lesser model, but the first submarine will not be, come out till 2030. Can you believe that's the year that they put out? 2030. So we're spending all this money, which has gone up now from 50 billion to 225 billion. $225 billion, and we won't get an antiquated fucking submarine till 2030. And who knows how long we're going to get the other 11. And by then, they'll be useless as tits on a bull.
Right.
But we're going to have 12 submarines that are going to protect this great big massive island.
It's a continent practically.
From China, 2030, China's going to be fucking, Australia's going to be another fucking state of China. There's no use being protected from China. They own fucking this country. So we're spending $225 billion.
Right.
Whereas I've heard today our Jew treasurer, shouldn't have said that word, treasurer, he has said we are in a recession that we had no say in. We're in a recession and we got no say in. And yet we've just fucking spending $225 billion on fucking useless submarines and a recession that we had no say in. You idiots fucking locked down the whole country, destroyed every fucking small business, and we had no say in it over a fucking, tell us the words, Jim, over what was it, Tim?
The fake bug. It's fake as fuck, the fake bug.
You don't know anyone that's fucking had trouble with this bug, or we don't even talk about dying. The only way you know someone that died is if you fucking live in a nursing home, but you can't visit then. So, or if you're on a cruise ship, otherwise you wouldn't fucking know anyone.
Right.
So anyone in chat, I bet you, unless you're a fucking troll, tell us who you know that's died from this fucking bullshit pandemic. And I'll mention once again, Ted Ross, the United Nations fucking leader, the Who fucking one of the best bands come out of Britain, but the Who,
Bill Gates,
Ecuador fucking has got charges fucking as long as his arm. He never declared it a pandemic. He said it's got the characteristics of a pandemic, which is fucking huge. But the news all over the world within seconds said the WHO has declared Corona BS a pandemic on March, was it 12th or 13th? When the only country that was affected by it was fucking China. And yet it was a pandemic. Never, ever declared.
Characterize.
That's right.
You can characterize anything as anything. But this pandemic bullshit is just that, a pandemic. And Peekay, getting back to the corruption, it's the same in every country. You know, absolute power corrupts absolutely. Where we had Trump, okay? Trump signs a check for $8 trillion, and he's laughing, and they're all smiling and joking. I don't think anyone has ever wrote out a check for $8 trillion. Yeah, because you're the king of corruption. And most of that money went to the big boys. Everyone else got a check for, what was it? I forget, a couple $1,000, all right? When you stretch out the time span, that means they got $14 a day. I'm pretty sure the big boys got more than $14. He gave away the store, and your progeny, the people that follow you, the generations that follow have to pay that bill, and it's not payable. The bill that we had before was not payable. It's not enough money in the economy to pay for the phony fake debt, for the phony fake bug, and the phony fake everything.
Go back years, Tim. I mean, the word billion was never mentioned. It was millions.
Right.
Billion. Wow. Now, billions, fuck all.
Right.
Now it's trillion.
Right.
What the fuck comes after trillion? It's just fucking fake as fuck money. But sorry,
it's funny you can't even conceive of that a number of something like that exists, except for grains of sand at the beach.
Oh well, I wouldn't know because we're banned from going to the beach.
Yeah. Oh, they got PK. The rules are arbitrary because I just learned that from talking to you that you could get a haircut in Australia, right?
Yeah.
Not here. You could go to the beach in Australia. In New York, you could go to the beach, but you can't go into the water because, like I said last time, the fake bug, not only does it fly, but it also swims. How the fuck is staying out of the water helping out the transmission of the fake bug? Makes no goddamn sense.
There was a lot of fish that might contract it. They might spread it. They might get on the fishing boats or even on cruise ships. You never know. You got to be careful, Tim. Just like this fucking communist premier we got here. This horrid fucking see you next Tuesday. That is our premier. Disgusting, vile fucking creature. How he ever became premier. But, when he became premier years ago, I didn't even know he was premier. That's how much I give a fuck about politics.
Yeah.
But this horrid fucking creature.
Well, your politicians are less colorful than ours, maybe, if you didn't even notice who won the election.
Yeah, he has been going back and forth to China.
Uh-huh.
China, this is against the Constitution, Section 51, where the only people that can deal with foreign countries are the federal fucking government. And yet, this fucking germ, as the Premier of the state of Victoria, is going to China and making deals with China without giving the details, not being transparent, and this happening while Parliament's not sitting, just doing what is being told by his fucking controllers, and no one gives a fuck about it. This guy should be hung. And yet he is being hailed as one of the greatest premiers in history, not by only people from his own party, but fucking see you next Tuesdays from the opposition, from the Liberal Party. It's a fucking joke.
Yeah.
Because he saved me hundreds of thousands of lives by going overboard with this lockdown when not one single person died. He's had the lockdown like you cannot fucking believe. Not allowing us to play fucking golf, the only state in Australia. Closing this, closing that, fucking, and he's still going on about it. And what happens? They stage these bullshit fucking things like, some young kid got tested positive at some school nearby. So we got to extend it for another 3 weeks, extend the state of emergency. That's what they do, just like that fucking shit in Queensland. And people just fall for it all the time. This piece of garbage should be hung. And I was going to say by his balls, but he don't have fucking balls. He's a fucking dog.
But PK, it's like George Carlin says, power does what it wants. Okay, and as far as the fake bug, okay, you isolated all these people from the fake bug. If that prevented the transmission of pathogens or germs or bugs or whatever, then why didn't the flu disappear from all of this? Why? Because the flu, as you've covered and I've covered, is the body's natural reaction to cellular distress. So you could isolate somebody and they could still get the flu. That's just the way it is. To all you dum-dums watching. And the dum-dums step in and say, yeah, they prevented a catastrophe by isolating people.
But the thing is, Tim, every country went along with the same fucking
Right.
same shit.
Right.
They all went for the flattening the curve shit. They all went with the social distancing. They all went with fucking lockdown. They all went the same fucking way, which means they're all fucking controlled.
Yeah.
So this flattening the curve shit is a fucking joke. We should have just got rid of it in a month. The herd immunity, we've copped it, we've fought it. End of story. No one has lost their jobs. No one has lost their business. We're all fine. But no, let's flatten this fucking curve so we can drag this on and on and on and on and on as long as we can. As long as we can. And then fucking slowly let you out. Then fucking use the 5G. And then fucking second, I forgot to tell you, Tim.
Yeah.
While I've been fucking doing nothing, I've been going to the beach on my own and I've been doing surfing. Did you know I was a surfer?
No, I didn't.
Well, I am. I wasn't, but I am now. I've been trying to catch the second wave, but I'm still fucking struggling, mate. Anyway, this second wave that's fucking going to come. Oh, I mean, fucking. And they're all going to. Oh, sorry, I cannot believe it. You know, it's just driving me nuts. They're all hailing these governments as fucking heroes. We'll just go. We were told that 500,000 people were going to die in Australia. 500,000 people, and 102 people have died. America is supposed to have lost 2 million. United Kingdom, 1 million. Even on their fucking bullshit, we're not even close. And people, fucking the COVID idiots. Oh, I mean, what about that? Someone termed COVID idiots for the idiots that fucking walk around with masks, but they've turned it around to make us people the COVID idiots. I mean, it's an article, I might even make a video on it. It is fucking hilarious. You know, they grab that shit just like they do fake news, you know?
Yeah.
Fake news. Oh, we've called that the fake news, but no, they turned it around. Excuse me, we're the fake news.
They appropriate our terminology.
Exactly. I just want to quickly.
And how's everybody's health amongst those who don't have a job? You can't pay your rent, your mortgage, and you can't buy groceries because you have no fucking money. How is your health doing then? You know?
I saw a figure somewhere, the suicide rate throughout the world is fucking astronomical every year. But no one talks about that. It's astronomical. I think it was 6,000 people in the United Kingdom die every year from suicide. Fucking hell, do something about that. You know, instead of this fucking fake bug.
And I'm sure they'd cover the news the same way in your country as every other country. If they do have a business owner and they want to interview them, they're like, no, we're proudly playing our part to spread the transmission of this disease to the people. So we'll gladly close down our restaurant, and we'll gladly have social distancing and plastic cones around people's heads and everyone wearing masks. But they won't interview the business owner who says, I don't have a business anymore. I can't afford not to have my business operational for this length of time. Those business owners don't get to be on TV. Only the ones that are compliant and agree with the phony fake bug. And how does a business stay? Now, a restaurant, you cut down their seating capacity to 25% or whatever it is. That's no good either, because these businesses operate on margin. They're not making corporate money. That they need real money to pay the bills, and you can't pay the bills on just 25%. So even after they lift this nonsense, there'll still be people going out of business because they can't. They don't have the same capacity anymore.
You're right, Tim. A restaurant reopens, it wants a flourish. It can't be limited to 20 people when it can hold 100. Because
Right.
20 people, you're going to lose fucking money on still.
Yeah.
You know, you need the joint fucking full and thriving again. And it's pathetic. It's pathetic how, I mean, it's hard, but all these small businesses, they should all get together and say, get fucked, Daniel Andrews. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, but, you know, it's up to them to do that.
And PK, none of this would be possible without law enforcement because they're there to enforce these arbitrary dictates. Now, that's unbelievable thing. I was trying to explain to people that the system of slavery is kept in place by the police. What should have happened if Nicole Malliotakis was a politician for the people and she acknowledged the numbers, she would have sat down. You get some community leaders together and you get the police together and you say, look, we need you to agree not to enforce this shit. That's all. Don't enforce any of it. And then let everybody go about their business. But no, everyone falls in lockstep. They got to obey the arbitrary decrees of de Blasio and Governor Cuomo, the nipple rings leader of the dumb people. What they say goes. It's top to bottom control. The top of the capstone tells the bottom of the capstone what's to do, and that's all, and they obey. But PK, they're all applauding when this guy said, he's wearing a hat saying, I'm wearing this hat because my father was in the police department for 30 years, okay? And then everybody's clapping. They're applauding their own oppression, and they don't even understand that. They're going to still love the cops who later that day, PK, I'm driving home in my car after dropping my friend John off to his place of residence. I'm driving home and I hear on the radio, they say, after the protest, the police went in there, issued the guy a $1,000 fine and shut down the tanning salon. You could say it was because of de Blasio, but who were the functionaries that made that possible? The police. That's all. The police abide by arbitrary, unconstitutional dictates, and they all swore an oath to the Constitution. But no, their oath is towards the El Dulce, the authority, not the people.
Right from the start, if someone had the balls, like, someone who owned restaurants, if someone actually, made a point, I'm telling you, everyone would have got on a roll and said this is fucking bullshit. But the problem is, here, America, everywhere, everyone just fucking accepted it and bent over and accepted it. No one had the balls to say, fucking this is bullshit, which is scary, mate. It's scary. I mean, I would have loved to have done that, but who's going to fucking follow me, a nobody, Someone stand up.
PK, our leaders on the local level could have made all the difference. That Nicole Malliotakis could have said, no, we're not doing that. And she could have participated in reality. She has the same access to the numbers as the average Joe schmuck behind the keyboard, where it clearly tells you 0.1% of the people, and I apologize for being redundant, but that's a very important point. 0.1% of people die does not make an epidemic, a pandemic, or even a characterization of a pandemic. It's not possible. It's not reality.
Even the WHO says a pandemic is 12% of the population dies or seriously ill or dies. 12%. We're talking, like you said, 0.1%, and that's using their bullshit figures.
Yeah.
People who, in fact, we know
it's
dying from corona BS. They're dying with it. We don't want to keep getting into that. People should realise that we all have corona BS inside our bodies, and the older people have it in higher quantities because their immune system's fucked and they got, more problems with their health, for fuck's sake. But you cannot tell that to the Joe Schmuck on the street, can you? Because everyone's fucking millions are dying. It was on the fucking news. What are you talking about, stupid? I'll just wear my fucking mask and I'll be happy.
PK, they tell you, get help. You're a conspiracy nut job. Put on your tinfoil hat. But you're wearing a fucking mask for something that's provably fake beyond all reasonable doubt. 0.1% is essentially zero. And PK, you did a very good, excellent video where you showed that flatten the curve bullshit. Okay? Essentially, all they did was drag on the phony fake bug. Because when you count the size of the graph going up and down and the other graph where they flatten the curve, what was the theme of your sermon, PK? And it was quite accurate. It's the same amount of
people die.
Same amount of people.
Hang on, Tim, I'll correct that. The same amount supposedly died from BS19.
Right.
But when you flatten the curve, you've got whatever figure amount of people dying from suicides, mental disorders, domestic violence, whatever. Add that on.
Yeah.
It's probably tripled the amount by flattening the curve, but they're not going to tell you those figures. Have you seen anywhere where they've told you the figures of suicides and whatever deaths? Why don't they have that fucking worldometer of the shit apart from corona BS that have died through the world in the last 3 months? Why don't they have a worldometer on that and show that? Then the world might fucking wake up and say, hang on, the disease, the cure is worse than the disease.
And they don't go over that graph, and that graph isn't even a curve. It's just a thing that goes straight up. They ruin lives, PK. They ruin the economy. They ruin people's ability to take care of themselves. And like I said before, how's your health doing if you can't pay the bills? The doctor's going to help you out if you can't pay the mortgage or the utilities or your rent. The doctor can't help you with that. You're fucked.
Ted,
you're fucked.
People are staying at home, of course.
Right.
So, of course, they're using more electricity, gas. Their fucking gas electricity bills are skyrocketing. And what makes it worse, the temperature's fucking freezing or going to be colder and colder here.
Yeah.
How are people going to afford these bills without working, staying home, and what they're going to watching TV? Their electricity bills are going to skyrocket and they won't be able to afford it. So they'll turn off the fucking heater and they'll die. I mean, it's just fucking...
And PK, the government still expects to receive their property tax check, right? But the people don't even have a job. So what's the government going to do? Are they going to give you tax relief? Are they going to help you out? No, they're going to wait until you're far behind enough on your taxes where they could seize your property. And then the newspapers will say, well, these people lost their houses because they're deadbeats. They don't pay their bills. They don't pay their taxes. Yeah, how are they going to pay any of that when you put them out of work? And who put them out of work? The politicians and their crime partners in the media put them out of work. They caused up a great big stir that doesn't exist in reality. If you didn't watch the TV or buy a newspaper or listen to the radio, the fake bug doesn't exist. These people brought the fake bug into existence. And again, if people call you crazy, you need seek help. Seek help. You should see a psychiatrist. You're selfish. You're crazy. You're irresponsible. You're reckless. If a bunch of people go to the beach or Pops opens up his barbershop, the next day the media swoops in and pounces on the people saying, oh, there's been a surge in corona cases and everybody's dying. Because they got the tests and the statistics that quick. Immediately, Immediately after Pops opens the barbershop, people start dropping dead all over the place.
All these riots, all these people gathering together, walking side by side. Here, the two protests we had. Where's all the fucking people dying from coronavirus when there's no social distancing? You can shove that fucking bullshit up your ass.
And the idiots are still wearing masks. Now, PK, I came across some research where they said this whole idea of social distancing came off of a 14-year-old girl, a daughter of some Saudi Arabian minister or something. And she did it as a science project. And somebody heard about it and said, wow, wouldn't this work so well for our evil plans? When you have social distancing, you can't have rallies and assemblies unless it's a riot to cause even more shutdowns. So let's throw a fake racial psyop show, and we could.
Better get tested, Tim.
It's
oh my God! The bugs got Tim.
Well, me and my friend John Doerr are both gonna drop dead because we were sitting together on my couch right behind me doing a show, and we were even closer together, not social distance or wearing a mask, when we were driving to the place in my tiny little Hyundai. the fake bug could have jumped off the dashboard and gone up our ass.
All right, Tim. Just want to bring something up.
I'm listening, PK. I'm just going to refill my coffee.
All right. While he's gone, everyone, I just want to make an announcement. I'm going to make a video tomorrow, a special announcement. I'm going to do a weekly podcast, same time, Wednesday. But I'm not going to have guests like Terrible Tim or anyone else. I'm going to have you, the people, the people that support me. I'm going to have them on my show because I want to hear views from people who were making comments, not only in these podcasts or on my videos. I want to actually see that. I don't have to really see them. I want to hear from these people, and I want to get them involved. It's not about me or Terrible Tim or anyone else. It's about everyone. So stay tuned. I'm going to make a video tomorrow about that. So, all right.
Yeah, because the message is about the message. I mean, if you could decide, I don't like Terrible Tim. I don't like PK. I don't like the way PK curses and raises his voice. I don't like the way Terrible Tim acts so high and mighty and more intelligent than you. No, it's about the message. And I'm not more intelligent than anybody else. I just pay attention to what the fuck's going on, just like PK. You know, the people don't pay attention. They just follow the herd.
Just quickly off subject, I haven't been getting many videos removed lately. On a day, luckily, I hadn't had a video removed for 2 days till this morning. You wouldn't guess what video got removed this morning if you follow my channel.
I know. I tried to look at one of your videos. I'm too late. And they took it down. I have to be quick on the drawer if I want to see every PK video. And I can't postpone watching it till later. I better watch it when it's there.
You got to get quick. You got to be quick. But a lot of people aren't notified of it. I don't want to hark on this, but I made a video on that piece of garbage, Max Egan, the fake name.
Mr. Conjunction, Speculation, and Noise, Max Egan, yeah.
I don't want to go on too much about it, but I combined two old videos. I put it together where he called me out to be a cop. By fucking God, me a cop. God, honestly, the last job in the world I would ever do. But anyway, I made that video yesterday. Can you believe YouTube removed it? Not even 20 hours later, they flagged that video of that piece of garbage insulting me, and YouTube removed it. It's not a hoax. It's not anything to do with PS19. What the fuck? What is YouTube protecting this guy?
Apparently.
It's fucking a joke. Here I am trying to tell the truth. I'm getting attacked by his fucking minions, making comments. Oh, I'm unsubbed from you. Goodbye. I couldn't give a fuck if you sub to me. If you want to sub to that fucking jerk, don't sub to me, all right? I don't know what I have to do to tell everyone that this guy is a fucking fraud. And I'll leave it at that. And that is just proof that he is protected by YouTube to delete that video.
PK, when did he ever have a video or channel taken down?
Never. In 11, the original channel is still there. What does that say?
Yeah, because he's an agent in place. He was dealing in truth and reality up until CC Church in New Zealand.
Before that, Las Vegas, but then CC.
Yeah.
But look, I don't want to talk about him.
You're right. You're right.
But the thing is, I don't want to, give attention to these creeps. But there are idiots on YouTube who are attacking me and have for years. But do YouTube remove those fucking videos? Disgusting fucking pieces of garbage. No, they won't delete that. But soon as you put up a video exposing this guy, it's taken down in less than 24 hours. I rest my fucking case.
Yeah, and of course it's not just him. You have other people who you relied on to be honest with you. And another example is that something or Orlando. What the hell do they call themselves? But anyway, they were giving you factual information. But then once this phony fake Floyd showed up, then they were like, yeah, we need justice for Floyd. And they're supporting the protests and all kinds of bullshit. We Are Change, they're called. Yeah, we Are Change Orlando. They were legit all the way as far as I could see. And then once the Floyd thing came on, they got on board the phony fake Floyd psyop, and they go about their business as if that was an actual real event. Now, even if you don't want to say that it was fake, which it obviously was, even dum-dums who were saying to themselves, well, yeah, they did kill the guy, somebody died and everything. Even those stupid people can't support the outflow from that, which was all these protests and businesses being burned down and protesting, bricks being thrown. So as soon as they kind of start saying, all right, we're going to ease the restrictions, maybe we'll open up June 8th. So, but we're going to burn down your businesses, though. And we're going to have people throwing bricks at your windows.
Isn't it amazing that there's always someone there to capture these idiots smashing windows and doing all this shit?
Right.
Oh, who are these people that just happen to be Johnnies on the spot?
Yeah.
What else was I going to say? Look,
but PK, the politician supported. He says, yeah, I feel for these people. And they have a First Amendment right to do a protest. So all of a sudden, the First Amendment is fine for them, but it's not fine for anybody else. It's not fine for you and other YouTubers have a First Amendment. It's only fine for the protesters, the violent protesters who burn shit down and blow things up. And the politicians say, yeah, we're with you. We're with you. Yeah.
So let's just agree on this. There are peaceful protests.
Yeah.
Of people who actually believe that this guy was killed.
Yeah, they're wrong, but they're peaceful. Yeah.
I believe, you believe that this guy wasn't killed.
Right.
Right. Because what I don't understand, all right, the cops have got body cams. Who in their fucking right mind would film you and your mates killing someone?
Right.
I don't fucking get that because it's going to come out. It's done for a purpose. It's done there to film people.
Yeah.
Obviously.
You would kill them at the station if you wanted them dead.
Yeah, exactly.
This way, whatever story you told could at least somewhat be credible because there's no camera on it. The guy's posing on the guy's neck for 7 minutes. Now, having a knee on your neck is painful, but on the side of your neck. But if you're a young, healthy porn star like this guy Floyd, and I probably mentioned this earlier, it's hard to kill somebody like that. In fact, it's impossible. It's impossible.
Well, just before the show, Tim, I put out a video. 2017, some white guy got killed by cops, but they didn't have rights over that. That was genuine. They killed him. You know, the guy wasn't breathing, but the cops were still with their knees in his back, and they laughed about it.
Yeah.
So, Tim, I'll ask you a question. Hang on, I've got to sneeze. If you got killed, Tim, will there be race riots?
Nah.
Why not?
A couple of my subscribers might miss me. The people who like the Man Bill song might miss me putting little hearts, clicking the hearts when they give me their daily comments. But yeah, there wouldn't be anything on the news about it. That's a problem too. It's black and white. There's no such thing as a human being got killed by the cops. It has to be a black guy. And more white people get killed by the cops by far. But again, they're not human beings. We're not human beings. We're white or we're black or we're Chinese or whatever it is. How convenient for the leaders that people have different skin colors and most of them are dumb as fuck on whether they're black or white. Dumb as fuck. Don't know anything what's going on.
Just go on this, Tim. The states where all this shit is happening, supposedly democratic states, is that right?
Yeah. The left-right divide. Yeah, sure.
So, we're made to believe it's Democrats versus Republicans, and that's what it's all about. But it's more than that. They're both in together. It's all a fucking circus. So, all right, we're going to stop here soon, Tim. But where do you reckon we're going to go from here? What's going to happen next week?
That's hard to predict, but we know it's going to be even more insane, most likely, than what happened this week. We thought phase 2 would be phase 2 of the phony fake bug. They loosen the restrictions and they say, oh well, we did a little too soon, boys and girls. So now we have more phony fake numbers for you of cases where it's still 0.1% mortality rate. So we got to go back to the drawing board and lock people up, which I think they'll still do. But it looks like phase 2 is this racial psyop. Now, we've had racial psyops in the past, but it never affected the whole country to this degree because in the past, they didn't organize it as much as they did with the bricks and the phony fake actors, and then the stupid people on the street join in, not knowing that they're being led down a path and that they're working for the New World Order by doing this idiotic shit. Even if they're not breaking up the place, they're doing the bidding. These idiots are doing the bidding of the people that orchestrate the phony fake show.
See, wasn't it in March that Trump sent in all the National Guard as like protection for supposed unrest due to the lockdowns? The National Guard's been sitting there for a couple months, and like we said at the start, they were hoping that's what the lockdown was going to do, cause civil unrest. But so they're using them now. They've been sitting 2 months, and now let's get into action, boys. What the question is, I'm going to ask you right now during these supposed riots, the cops haven't been doing much. Obviously, they've been told to stand down, but they're not actually killing people.
Right.
They're shooting. You saw them going down the streets of Minnesota, and people were filming it, and they shot like paintballs or something.
Yeah.
And we hear these fake reporters. There was one I saw today, an Australian woman reporting to a show here, a morning show. Carrying on, running and screaming amongst thousands. Oh, we just got shot. I just got hit by a rubber bullet or whatever. No bullshit, you did, but just to make it dramatic. So when do you think, or will it happen that the actual police? No more paintballs or fucking, smoke bombs, whatever. When's the real shit going to start, be coming out of their guns?
Well, there's been troop movements all along, okay? Because they figure, okay, we're going to get some civil unrest off of this. Instead, what they got was civil rest, civil cooperation with the phony fake bug. And so they say, okay, we're going to get this racial psyop going, and then there'll be civil unrest. And so now there's more cause or more excuse, not a good excuse, but an excuse to get the military involved. And maybe they can and eventually they'll hand out those Bill Gates vaccines that Trump says all these great companies are working together to help everybody. And they expect a vaccine 12 months to 18 months down the line. And you have all these politicos, all these political people saying, yeah, we can't get back to normal until we have a vaccine for a fake bug with a 0.1% mortality rate. But nothing goes back to normal till they get the vaccine.
Tim, I think the vaccine's not even going to come into play. I got a feeling that they're going to start, the cops, whatever, are going to start killing people, making out that they are being attacked, and they're doing this in self-defense. And once that starts, Tim, there's no stopping all the Americans who have been arming themselves in the last 10 years
Right.
due to these fake shootings.
Right.
That we're going to take the guns off you, Americans. No, we have got Americans buying guns and ammo left, right, and center. That's what they've been waiting for this moment. Now that we're all armed, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. They're going to be fucking... I hope I'm wrong, but you're not going to just see these bullshit cops and National Guard just going around shooting paintballs, mate. It's going to get to a stage where there's going to be mass killings, and it's just going to go on and on and on and on.
Well, will it be the cops, or will it be the United Nations, where it's a mixture of American and foreign troops? And if it gets to that point, Peekay, the society breaks down. If there's people shooting at each other, how are you going to have food deliveries to the stores? I think maybe a more effective method to soften up the population is to have a famine. And then when the people are softened up, they won't even have the strength to fire off a round just because they haven't eaten anything for weeks at a time.
Hey, Tim, don't give him ideas.
Don't give him ideas. But that could be another thing, is famine. And you could store up as much food as you want, I guess. But eventually you're going to run out. I mean, what would you have to have? Like 2-3 years supply of food? I don't know how much supply you have to have.
Yeah, well, that's big. They're going to control the food. There's going to be food shortage. They can do that in just like that. But look, I don't know.
And I like what the comedian Bill Barr said. He said, "Okay, so I grow a zucchini plant in my backyard. So the biggest guy on my block is just going to come in there and take it away from me." And that's what would happen. And people will be knocking on your door saying, "Terrible Tim, I know you're a crazy nut job conspiracy. Now that everything that you have said has come true, we figure that you probably have a food supply saved up." And then what am I going to do? Because I'm not a dick. I'm not going to say to them, "Oh, fuck you, go away and starve." I would have to give them some of my food, I guess, right?
I don't know. I don't know. I keep saying the same thing. The world's fucked. And that's not jokingly. That's
Yeah.
who would ever thought we'd be here talking shit like this. Honestly,
Yeah. PK, I remember, this is going to be like a depression. I'm old enough so that I had a grandmother who lived through the depression, and she told me how horrible it was. People did then literally drop dead in the street because they had no food, they couldn't get a job, there were bread lines, and that's where we're headed. We're headed towards Venezuela, which Venezuela didn't happen organically. We embargoed the shit out of those people.
Well, Georgia Guidestones, who put them up? That wasn't a joke.
And why isn't anyone tearing it down? To those who are new to this, and I think most of you understand what's going on in the world. Those Georgia Guidestones, what were the figures? They want to maintain the Earth down, the population.
600 million.
600 million? Holy cow. Holy cow. All this was put for everybody to enjoy. Be fruitful and multiply, as it said in the Bible. The more in my mind, the more people, the better. The more people, then the more artwork and the more music and the more beautiful things in life can happen. You cut the population down to 500 million, and you have less of everything. There's statistically, that's the way it will break down. There'll be less of everything.
All right, Tim. We'll finish up now. Just
okay.
What
could do only an hour, maybe this time?
No, we've gone 90 minutes. Bloody hell.
Okay. The time always flies when I talk with you, PK.
Yeah, it's great talking to you, and it's like I said, unlike the show I did a month ago with some boring person who I've got no interest in talking to. I mean, someone that believes Q-Tart's going to save the world all of a sudden. Anyway, don't want to go on negatives, but
did you want to talk a little bit about Q?
No. Look,
okay.
We'll end this because what time is it there?
8:30.
Oh, so you can go outside now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go outside and put the weed whacker to my lawn in the back. I let it go a little bit.
No worries.
Yeah.
All right, like I don't know if you heard, I said to the people, I'm going to make an announcement tomorrow. I'm going to do a special show every Wednesday night at the same time, but I'm going to include my followers.
Yeah.
And so they can have their say, and we'll see how it goes. But I'll have you on. I don't know. We'll have it on another time, but hopefully I can have this weekly thing with, like I said, the people that support me because they deserve it.
Yeah, well, we'll play it by ear. I'm always here for you, PK. You know that.
Yeah, you're a good man, brother.
Whatever I could contribute to the conversation, I'll do the best I can.
Oh, no, I appreciate it, mate. Like, this was just like a spur of the moment thing again, and you answered the call, and I'm sure all the people that are in chat, love hearing, what you say, because not only are you, you're knowledgeable, but you're a fun guy.
Yeah,
we're all lucky for that, mate. That's what I try to be as well,
I'm so fun that dozens of people have blocked me off of Facebook.
Yeah. Like I say, I might be everyone's coffee, but I'm not everyone's cup of tea, but that's, bad luck.
You tell it straight, man.
Well, it's the only way, mate. I don't. Why fake? Why say that word? Why fake?
Why? It's fake as fuck. Fake as fuck. You're one of the few people where I don't got to figure out, why did he go off the course here? Why did he go off? You, RV Truth, a couple other people. The only people I could rely on that I know that nobody's pulling your strings.
Yeah, well, I'm not getting hit by any beams lately, or I'm not gonna. all of a sudden say the Earth is flat. I couldn't give a fuck if it's flat or not. But anyway, I don't even know why I mentioned that, because the whole show about talking that, and I've been reading comments, and no one's actually mentioned the shape of the fucking world or planet. Who gives a fuck?
Well, Peekay, I fear that soon it will be too late to have that conversation.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I have my reservations about it, and people
No,
are
we're not going to talk about it. Fuck it.
yeah, people are entitled to their opinion.
All right. It's an opinion, Tim. We don't know. No one knows.
Yeah, but the thing that gets me, Peekay, is those ridiculous motions that they say that 1,000 miles an hour spins 660,000 mile road.
The best one, Tim. I want to know who worked out that the sun is 63 million miles away.
93 million.
93, fuck. And you can see the sun's rays are coming down like that from 93 million. What? Yeah, fuck.
And
Anyway,
Peekay,
yeah, sorry.
Peekay, the moon is 238 million miles away. But
the moon's not that far away.
Yeah, but you look at it and you put, even especially with a telescope, you can see it with intricate details. You can see the craters, everything.
Oh, it's only a few thousand miles away, isn't it?
It would have to be only a couple of thousand miles away if you can see it with that degree of intricacy and detail.
You can even see the space buggy if you look closely.
Yeah, and the phony fake space program. I mean, we could spend 2 hours.
Please don't. Please don't.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just deep inside the rabbit hole. Good friend of mine.
Yeah.
He put out a video. Everyone else probably has, but the SpaceX shit.
Yeah.
I had a look at it. I don't know if you saw it. It was the supposed thing landing again.
Yeah.
Can you believe it? They lost fucking transmission just as it was landing, and then it came back, and you see this fucking thing planted there.
And there's no smoke.
It's happened before. They've lost transmission just at that moment.
Yeah.
You fucking joke. That's it. No more on that shit. All right, Tim. Thanks everyone that's being on. Hopefully you can join me next week with my followers, and we're going to have them on the show. And once again, pleasure having you on, Tim. You're a good man.
Thank you, my brother.
Keep it up, brother. You have a good day. Go out, do some gardening. I'm going to bed. Cheerio, everyone.
Thank you, my brother. Likewise, and much love to the people in the chat and the people who watch this on the rewind.
Good on you.
All right.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, folks. Much love.